Late 19th century London needed a new river crossing for its booming docks. So, in 1894, they built Tower Bridge. 20,000 vehicles a day cross this bridge. Sam is one of only 6 people allowed to operate it, and today he's letting me have a go. I'm very excited by this.
Are you nervous?
Well, I'm nervous. I'm nervous principally because I do not want any kind of reputation for holding up London's traffic.
So we're going to start off with the first announcement. So if you want to say staff announcement, staff announcement.
Staff announcement. The bridge control system is about to be switched on. Please stand clear of the moving structure, machinery, and controls.
OK, now press this button.
Press that button.
All the hydraulic pumps are going to be starting to run up systematically, so they'll do pump by pump.
Your else is pumping hard, it's my heart.
Right, now let's stop the road traffic, so hit that button.
That's the best button.
It is, it's a fun one.
That turns the lights to red. If only we could all have a button like that in our lives.
Grab the lever, pull it back ever so slightly into that creep position.
Unlock the bridge.
And we'll see the bridge starting to crack.
Oh, my God.
Now pull it all the way back.
This is one of the most exciting things I've done in my life. Below each tower, below the river itself, is a vast, hidden chamber. When the bridge opens, the short end of each chunk of road, loaded with 400 tons of counterweight, swings down into here. This is what it looks like from below. It's vast. I've seen photographs of this. It's 10 times bigger than I thought it would be. Amazing. Just amazing.
So everything that's painted white moves. Everything that's painted blue is stationary. I've been down here for bridge lifts, and it's silent. If you had your back to it, it would knock you over.
It is like a cathedral to engineering, this place. And it moves.
It still moves.
It moves me. Any architect or engineer coming here would be inspired to somehow mimic. I mean, you see these shapes in cathedrals, in Brutalist buildings, and you understand where they came from. The sound down here is wild. The curved walls bounce and reflect any noise. It's operatic, though.
Yeah, it is.
Like an auditorium. What this space needs, with this amazing reverberation, is a modernist piece of music, which would comprise a series of noises made specially for this space, like ooh, This is the Philharmonic Pub, also known as the Phil, in the centre of Liverpool. It got listed Grade 2 star in 1966, before a great swathe of pub demolitions in the 1970s. And thank goodness. In 2020, it was promoted to Grade 1. Whoa, there's so much. Look at this mosaic. There's so much going on. The richness of what's been saved here is extraordinary. Historic England described it as exceptional, not least because its magnificent interior has survived as a whole. And all this timber, and the plasterwork, and the glass, and the copper panels, and the leather, and the fireplaces. I mean, it's well, and then there's the bar, right? Yeah. It's like, let's take every detail we like from every historic building ever, and let's try and put it into a pub. It is amazing any of this is still here. During the May Blitz of 1941, Liverpool was the most bombed city outside London. St. Luke's Church, just down the road, took an incendiary bomb and burned through the night. Its clock stopped at just before 20 to 4 in the morning. It's been a roofless shell ever since. The Phil, 400 metres away, survived without a scratch. One of the exquisite highlights of this place, though, is hidden away. Tourists come from far-flung islands to witness its incredible beauty. This place is the Sanctum Sanctorum. One of the reasons this place is in fact listed is for its urinals, all carved by hand in rose marble. It's exquisite. Bill Bryson said this is one of the most beautiful places in the world to have a wee. I would agree. Never before have I been so architecturally uplifted by a toilet. But that is what great architecture and design does. The Phil was built between 1898 and 1900 by a Liverpool brewer called Robert Kane, who decided his customers deserved better than 4 walls and a bar. He wanted them to feel like royalty.
Do you know what, Kevin? This pub is warm and inviting, and when you walk in through those doors, it's like somebody throws a big blanket around you and says, come on in.
Just kick back and just enjoy.
Just kick back, enjoy. There's no pressure. It's opulent, it's grand, but it's inviting, it's warm.
And it's a place to enjoy and experience. The plasterwork here wasn't thrown up by a decorator. It was modelled by sculptors and fine artists from the university's School of Art, the people who carved monuments across the city. Kane didn't commission a pub interior, he commissioned public art. He just happened to put it in a pub. Looking back, say, to 1900 or 1920 or 40, whatever period you choose, it was built for a more formal time, a more hierarchical time.
When this pub was built, it would have been built for that sort of clientele. And these days, you know, it's open to everyone. You can just be anyone. And you find here all sorts of people, visitors, tourists, academics, students, locals. It's a real melting pot.
It strikes me that that view has got every ingredient that I want in my pub. Generous bar, some hand pumps, mosaic, decoration, light.
Warmth.
Yeah, warmth.
It is saying to you, come on in, have a drink, make yourself at home.
Coventry Cathedral is not one building, but 2. The vision of the architect Sir Basil Spence, who wanted to keep the shattered shell of the old cathedral bombed by the Germans during World War II in November 1940. And beside it, he built a new cathedral in the 1950s. Together, they exert a powerful effect. Basil Spence placed this cathedral very deliberately lower. I know it sort of follows the topography here and the rock formation, but actually it's subservient.
But somehow it's all a little bit as if it was meant to be. So you feel that there's this kind of natural flow through it. There's pilgrimage built into this cathedral, really. But you have to start in the place of honesty about the world and about your life, which is the story of the ruins, moving into this space towards this extraordinary tapestry.
Yeah. The tapestry was made in France and weighs about a ton. It was woven on a 500-year-old loom in one continuous piece by a team of 12 weavers working for 2 years. And it was designed by the great 20th century artist Graham Sutherland. The whole cathedral is a container for wonderful works of art: tapestry, sculpture, lettering, stained and engraved glass and wrought iron, all by different hands and yet all speaking the same post-war language. You may wonder how and why all this craftsmanship in this building works together harmoniously, and it's because the architect, Basil Spence, took a meddling interest in everything. He was like the director, the conductor of the orchestra. He even drew the layouts for the organ pipes. I mean, anybody else would just leave it to the organ builder, but no, he handed his drawing over to Harrison and Harrison, the great organ makers, and said, make it work. This place resonates with the human energy of those who built it and furnished it in the 1950s, and also those who come here today. See, I've come here and I brought you here, not because it's on a list of important places to visit, an important Grade 1 building. It is all of that, but for very personal reasons, because it's just one of my favourite places on the planet. So I can't dissociate my personal feelings, my emotions, from a sort of generic architectural appreciation or a love of a particular craft or an admiration for an artist or any of that, because it's all bound up. I'm just very happy to be here. Very happy. Penguins know what they like. They like water, they like fish, speed, and they like privacy. However, one architect had the idea that an enclosure which was modernist and sleek and white and abstract would somehow provide a template for these animals to modify and improve their behavior, turn them into modernist penguins, living a life of order and clean calm. Yeah, no, you can't, it's not edible. This is the penguin pool at London Zoo, designed by Bertold Lubetkin in the 1930s. It was somewhere people could see penguins parade and splash into some icy London water via two extraordinary helical ramps which seemed to defy gravity. This is the coming together of two powerful brains, that of Lubetkin, émigré architect, with a passion for science and research and a love of reinforced concrete, having studied it in Paris, and another émigré, Ove Arup, who was the guy who started Arup Engineers, the great construction engineer who was able to design and make these floating forms. I think of that spiral as representing those two individuals. One of them is Lubetkin, the other one's Arup. When it was first opened, 1934?
34, yeah.
What was the reaction?
Oh, amazing. It was something so radical, so different. Well, no one had built an exhibit just for penguins. So it was, you know, something this white, pristine, sort of microcosm of Antarctica.
That's radical.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say it's still iconic today. People will still come. It's a reference point within London Zoo today.
But the penguins no longer live here. Lubetkin consulted leading zoologists in his day to understand penguin behaviour. But by 2004, our understanding of the penguin mind had changed. This, presumably, is offering these guys much more than the Lubetkin pool did.
With the Lubetkin pool, it just generally isn't big enough. Also, it just wasn't deep enough. So our pool is 2 meters deep right at the front, so they can really, really showcase that natural diving behaviour as well. And also, we have got lots of different nest boxes around as well, so the penguins have a bit of privacy.
After the penguins left Lubetkin's pool, the zoo did try it for other animals. As a mark of its adaptability, this structure has not just served the use of penguins. No, they have had porcupines here, and Chinese alligators, and Harry Styles, who came to make a video, although not with the alligators. That would have been worth watching. The porcupines ground their teeth on the concrete, eating away at the Grade 1 listed structure. And the pool was close to the children's playground, so the Chinese alligators were a bit of a safeguarding issue. So now it's empty. The penguin pool has not been in use since 2010. There are the historical, there are all the kinds of social and cultural and architectural reasons why the building should stay.
Yeah.
But is there a zoological reason?
No. So as science has advanced over the years, we learn more and more about penguins, we learn more and more about different species, and therefore, over time, it's just become obsolete in terms of being able to fulfill welfare.
Completed in 1957, the Lovell telescope is a controllable radio telescope that picks up signals from space. When stars explode and die, they send out radio waves that travel across the universe for billions of years. Radio telescopes like this collect them. and help us map the universe, understand how old it is and large it is. It is the work of Sir Bernard Lovell. He came to this field because Manchester's electric trams were interfering with his experiments. Manchester University's botany department owned some land out here in the quiet Cheshire countryside.
He was actually given permission to stay for 2 weeks by the head of the botany department, and here we are. Here we are 80 years later. A completely ridiculous project, really. You know, the ambition to build such a structure that nobody had ever built anything like it in the world before, at the time when the world effectively was coming out of the rigours of the war, and there was still rationing. The actual idea that you might walk into an empty Cheshire field and, rivet together the first 2 bits of steel with the intention of building something like this is ridiculous.
Engineers told him a giant steerable telescope was impossible. So Bernard found a bridge engineer from Sheffield called Charles Husband. Together, they designed a 250-foot dish that could point at any part of the sky. By 1957, the project was massively over budget and close to collapse. Then, someone provocatively launched a rocket.
Right at the time this telescope was being completed, the Soviets launched Sputnik 1, and Lovell wasn't going to do anything about it, but in fact the military asked him, would he be able to detect not the satellite itself, but the rocket that carried the satellite into space.
Because the Americans are getting antsy about not being able to track anything.
Indeed, and that was actually an intercontinental ballistic missile. Yeah. So the next thing it was going to carry might have indeed been a nuclear warhead.
It's one thing looking at it from outside the fence. Up close, it's something else. Proof that nothing is thrown away is writ large as you step up into the telescope proper. Beneath the new dish is the original one. The steel is only a few millimeters thick, with nothing below me. There's nothing like a chained off access to say, step this way. I'm stepping into the void, off the rail, onto the steel parabola of the very first reflector that was ever built here. Above me is the newer reflector, which is a much shallower dish. Below me, 2 millimeters below my feet, is just fresh air, is 200 feet of void. Above me, the heavens, but this roof of steel between me and it, and this is a liminal space. This is probably one of the most hidden, most unusual, most unencountered liminal spaces in the world. The halfway, the never space, the nowhere place. And above, that's an altogether other planet.